Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
from
wabarakatuh.
group 4. This is our classroom project for introduction to literature subject. Our group consists of me, Khalifah Intisar Zahid, Rina Septria Meidi, Silmi Kafah, Ferdian Bagus Mulyawan, Vivin Mulvina, and Octaviani Dian Wulandari. Okay, so the novel that we're going to review is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. We recommend this novel for elementary school student, especially the 5th and 6th grader one. But if you want to use it for middle school or senior high school, you can use it too, because the theme of the novel is fantasy, so it's all age can enjoy it. For the English learning, the students can learn about grammar, of course, and more vocabulary for them to know, because it's a fantasy novel. There's a lot of vocabulary that they would not heard of or read in classroom situation. So it's very good for them to enrich their vocabulary with this novel, as well as critical thinking, because there are some cases in the novel that the students can be asked what will they do if they were in their situation. Okay, next is starting from Ferdian.
Okay, the first is plot. So book start with Bilbo begins. Wait. Who lives a quiet, peaceful lives in his comfortable hall at back end. Bilbo is quite content at back end near the bustling Hobbit village of Hobbiton. But one day his comfort is shattered by a rival of the old wizard called Gandalf. By old wizard named Gandalf, who persuaded Bilbo to set out on an adventure with a group of 13 dwarfs. The dwarfs are embracing on a great quest to reclaim their treasure from marauding dragon or burglar. Shortly after the group set out, 3 hungry trolls capture all of them except for Gandalf. Gandalf tricked the trolls into remaining outside when the sun comes up, and the sunlight turns to the nocturnal trolls to stone. The group rests at the elfish stronghold of Rivendell, where they receive advice from the great elf Lord Elrond, then set out to cross the misty mountains. Wandering through the mountain tunnels, Bilbo finds a strange golden ring lying on the ground. He takes the ring and puts it in his pocket. Soon he encounters Gollum, a hissing, whining creature who lives in a pool in the caverns and hunts fish and goblins. He finds a tunnel leading up out of the mountain and discovers that the dwarves and Gandalfs have already escaped. Every wolf known as wargs pursue them, but Bilbo and his comrade are helped to safety by a group of great eagles and by Bern, a creature who can change shape from a man into a bear. The company enters the dark forest of Mirkwood, and making matters worse, uh, Gandalf abandons them to see the same other urgent business in the forest. The dwarves are caught in the webs of some giant spiders, but Bilbo must rescue them with his sword and magic ring. Next, we will continue with Rina.
Okay, so here I will continue the spot from Verdian. So after sneaking into the mountain, Bilbo talks to the sly dragon Smoke, who unwillingly reveals that his armor-like scales have a weak spot near his heart. When Bilbo steals the golden cup from the dragon heart, Smoke is furious and flies out of the mountain to burn like Thorn in his rage. The Lake Thorn humans and Mirkwood elf march into Lovely Mountain in search of a share of the treasure as compensation for their losses and favors. But Thorin greatly refused, and the humans and elves surrounded the mountains, tapping the dwarves and hobbits. At this time, the army of goblins and wargs marches off the mountain, and the humans, elves, and dwarves were forced to unite to defeat them. And the goblin almost won, but the airy fall of Bern and the eagle helped the good army with the battle. After they were battle, Bilbo and Gandalf returned to Hobbiton, where Bilbo continued to live. He was no longer accepted by the respectable Hobbit society, but he didn't care. Bilbo now refers to talk to elves and wizards, and he is very content to return to his comfortable home after his great and terrible adventure. Okay, next.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Vivian Molvina. Here I will mention the character in the story. The first is Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit, a small humanoid race that are content with living a relaxed life. Bilbo, just like any hobbit, are content with his relaxed life until he met Gandalf and began his adventure with the wizard and dwarves. The second is Gandalf, a wise old wizard who wore grey wizard robe complete with grey wizard hat. Gandalf has a vast command of magic and tend to show up at just the moment he is needed most. The third is Thorin Oakensale, a dwarf to lead his fellow trolls on a trip to the Lonely Mountain to reclaim their treasure from Smaug. Thorin is a proud, purposeful, and steady warrior, if a bit stubborn at times. The last character is Smaug, the great dragon who lived in the Lonely Mountain years ago. Smaug heard of the treasure that the dwarves had amassed in the mountain under Thor's reign, and he drove them away to claim the gold for himself. Smaug can speak and possess a dark, sardonic sense of humor. I think just like that.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Octaviani Jawandari. Next setting. The story takes place at various places at Middle Earth. Middle Earth are just like Earth, but more medieval or advanced technology aren't so in the books. The place are also hosts several different races, not just humans. The race dwarves, elves, hobbit, mythical creatures like dragons, giant eagle, orcs, giant wolves. One of the place the story takes place is called the Mickwood, where giant spider live. The forest canopy are full of intricate webs the spider use to store their prey, and because of this the forests are rather dark and gloomy.
My name is Silmi Kafa, so I want to explain about the opinion. My favorite part is when Bilbo met Gollum and they had a battle of riddle to decide Bilbo's fate. The part shows that a creature as malformed like the Gollum still have some semblance of intelligence despite being isolated deep inside the mountain tunnels. The another part is Bilbo's conversation with the dragon Smoke as Bilbo tries hard to not let the dragon know where exactly is he, as he will be dead if the dragon knows. The battle against the orcs and the allied force of the dwarf, human and elves are also pretty good, and it helps the reader to imagine the situation themselves. So I would recommend this book to anyone who likes fantasy genre, as Tolkien work are very engaging. The creators are familiar to those who like to play something like Dungeons and Dragons, even those who aren't familiar with fantasy and creators. The book describes the creators well so they can imagine how they look like themselves. And the last, the moral message of the story is to don't be afraid to try something new. As the main protagonist, Bilbo are original, don't like adventures, but he tried to join the dwarves to retake their kingdom from a terrifying threat. He learns a lot about the outside world of his burrow. There's a lot of dangers outside, sure, but there are a lot of wonders waiting for him to explore as well. Thank you.